So then we are back with more understandings of the Aramaic English translation of the scriptures. So then we must be very much encouraged in understanding more of the scriptures and encouraging our brothers and sisters to make sure they themselves are then enlightened by these scriptures. So then these scriptures and these understandings does not make a person powerful in terms of then placing other people under their control. This is an area where people then can come together in a faith and begin to share with each other. So then via sharing, they share with other people. This is the whole intent of then coming to the faith. Granted, it is a bit scary what's coming out there in the future. It's very scary. But then our faith and our focus should be in the Messiah, in what he taught us to do. Those events, they are taking place whether if we like it or not, if we manipulate or if we don't. We understand it is coming because we can't control the weather. And it's already showing signs of unrest in the Middle East. And we understand that the death of the ocean, at least a third part of it, is going to be because of the oil and the petrochemicals leaked into the ocean. And it is taking place in front of our very eyes. You begin to read what Yohanan saw in his vision, it is coming through. So this means to us having the revelation at the end of the instructions of the Gentiles. What's coming prior of is also important, isn't it? So then we are obedient to the faith as we were instructed. So then we ourselves, we are prepared and we understand that the liberties that we have today we won't have in a very near future. Not with the same level of liberty, but is going to be reduced. Because what's going on is there is the overstep of the boundaries. Okay? People, they are trying to rule over each other, and then information becomes then very critical. Our country is in a very critical condition. We are in a condition worst ever since the time of the Second World War. Because people, they are trying to take over. So then isn't the fact that only because we are in this country that we are protected? We are not protected when comparing with the scriptures. We are part of the countries that are going to be destroyed. We are part of it. And the only way for us to be exempt from this destruction is to come into the Messiah. We come to him humbly, we obey what he said to be done in a level of a Gentile faith. And then we encourage the Hebrew brothers to return to their camps. We resume our duties before the world, doing trade, and the set-apart Hebrews, then they are total loyalty to the Torah in their camps. And then we Gentiles, we service them. And we receive ministrations from them. Works, doesn't it? So then people are more informed. And never again then having these church mental understanding of the people ever again. There is no church outside of the camp. If you have developed some sort of a love for your country, has no relation with the church. What you have learned from church is a fake. It's a fake anointing, fake demonic anointing that teaches you to break his laws. It's fake. Only the true Mashiach can give you the understanding of it. So then we are prepared. We understand what's coming in the future. So then when the people, they work, and they give their 10%, let me give you some examples. Used to live on an island, very famous in the Pacific, met a lot of pastors from many ministries. Oh boy, you would be surprised what they do with your money. They spent your 10% earned in the best hotels, best restaurants, and you yourselves, you're screwed. In other words, they are not doing the work for God. They weren't simply involved in working the work for themselves. There is no church outside of the camp. There is no ministry outside from Ruach HaKodesh through his own people, the Hebrew brothers. What do you think they were doing? Wasting your money. They go around, they talk a bit, they talk some junk, and they spent your money, boy. Best hotels, best eating places, tickets paid for, and enjoy life. But then when you come to them, then you take your money out of your pocket and you give to these establishments, and you are then contributing to sin. Try to understand, the other half is not done yet. There is vengeance to come. That's the other half that you were unaware of. And they are teaching junk, and you are contributing to teaching their own junk. So let's come to the Mashiach, so then we are prepared. And then the scary part of it is, if we are acquainted with the world's events, we understand that there is a marine base, there is a plan of being set in Australia, or a U.S. presence in the Pacific. Do you know what this means? Begin to put your understanding to perspective. We are going to be behind China in 40 years. Why do you think there is the desire of a military presence in the Pacific for? It shows you the revelation is coming, and they know we are going to be behind China. And they want a presence over there, and they stating, oh, when natural disasters they come, at least they are in the proximity of any kind of a event going on in the Pacific. No. That's not the real reason for it. Because they want to prepare when China is then empowered over the world. Then they want to have a presence over there because it's going to have supremacy over the oceans. And then the trade, and then the control, and it's going to have a lot of fighting going on in terms of political gain. So the world is preparing itself for the end. We must prepare ourselves and come to the Mashiach, because those areas we can't control. Our political situation is not going to help our country. It is set for a determined route and it's not going to deviate from. So then during these next 40 years, do the best you can in terms of preparing yourselves as people and nation, because it's going to change. Big, huge change coming in the very near future. If you are not acquainted with IMF, should try reading some of their articles. It's very interesting. And they post the information worldwide because they are involved with worldwide trade and market. So they can't lie to the world. If IMF, they lie to the world, then other countries involved, they begin to understand that there are some discrepancies, then their credibility goes down. So they have to be honest. And they are honest. We are going to be behind China, and our monetary system is breaking. That's why we have our presence over there in Australia. There were talks, but it makes sense. And then, if you don't understand South America, for instance, the Panama Canal is extended. There is another canal built next to it. In a couple of years it's going to be available. The huge super tankers, the super ships are going through. And the Chinese, they have their hands there also, part of it. And only with Brazil itself, they have increased around 50% of their trade with the South American country of Brazil. Their economy is absolutely strong. And then there are some more going on regarding the Trans-Amazon Road. As you probably understand, it's from east to west, but they are thinking also in having north-south and link up the countries of the north. Can you imagine what takes place? The demands for trucks, the demands for parts, demands for more services. And China has a very strong grip in it. They are very visionaries. And they get the job done. Plain and simple. And then imagine then from Brazil being the strongest economy in South America, and then north, and then from then the main road coming from the north to south, through then Central America even someday. Because then they go from there east to west. And then any place that there are oceans, Chinese are going to be there, you can be sure of it. We are pocketed. That's the truth of it. Imagine the huge tankers then doing trade and then coming in and then from China, and they have their hands on it already. And then there is going to be from 4 to 5% increase per ship. That's quite a bit. And then when east and west, they are linked then via roads from a main road, the Trans-Amazon, going first from in Brazil from east to west, and then they're thinking on going to north and south, and then other countries being linked. Can you imagine what is going to be like the economy of China? In our country, we have nothing. We have no link near with South America. Big projects such as these, we have nothing. Our politicians are only concerned with themselves. They want their money. They want to only take care of their future and screw the rest. That's what they think. Such an important event taking place around the world in an economy, we can barely develop a decent electric car. And we understand in the future the main part of it's going to be electric transportation. Combination of then charging stations with ATM machines. Very convenient. Standardization of plugs, electric lines. There are vehicles already 250 miles on a single charge, computerized. It's the market. What's our part in it? So lots of developments coming up. And do you think then in 40 years, after understanding these developments going on in South America, do you think we have then the strength of going against China? Never. We don't stand a chance. But we can come to the Mashiach and be saved. And then prepare ourselves for huge changes coming in the future, because we are going to take orders from China. So then this encourages us to be more acquainted with the scriptures. Much more coming up.